Welcome back, everybody, to another Ascension Report by Coach Samantha. And I wanted to bring through a few specific topics that I know everyone's wondering about. I know everyone, including myself, start to ask these questions. Maybe not so consciously, but if they're coming through, then obviously they're inside of me as well. And so let's open up a space where we can start to feel these things so that we can start to flow with this process. And we'll talk about ascension. It's a whole journey. In fact, it's life. Ascension is this new way of life, this new way of being, this new way of existing in this body, in this world. And so when we open up and when we start to feel, am I ascending? Am I really truly ascending? Right? Who's ascending? What's ascending? How long is this process? How long is ascension? There's so much to this, which is probably part of the reason why I want to talk a little bit more about that. Hi! We've got kitties. I like play fighting. Which is very interesting. They got my attention. One of the things, I want to keep this simple, and I want to keep it to I want to share things that activate, that open you up so that you can start to feel these things for yourself. When I feel what's going on, the shifts, the changes, the collapses, all of these different things, I know they're part of ascension. And so at some level, absolutely everything and everyone is ascending. And let's bring it back down to what ascension actually is. And one of my favorite definitions that I heard a teacher a long time ago say is, it's a quickening. Everything starts to move, shake, right? Everything starts to vibrate faster. And this is exactly what is happening right now. This is what is going on in the world. There is a quickening. There is a lot of shifting and a lot of changes which come with movement, which come with the acceleration. So if you're asking, am I really ascending? Yes. Your body is changing. Your body has been shifting for a while. You are in the ascension process. The ascension process, or the beginning phases of the ascension process, the beginning, like the first dimensional shift, when we start to open up more and more into 5D, fifth dimension, right? There's so much that entails, and yet it's super simple. As soon as you close your eyes, breathe into your body, you stop time and you become a little bit more anchored in that new dimensional space, that higher dimensional space. The tricky part is actually staying there, continuing to stay there, and staying there long enough for you to see how everything around you starts to shift and starts to change to actually match that frequency. And so it's this ebb and flow, it's this roller coaster where you go up and down, and you go and you become conscious of the breath, and you disconnect a little bit, and then you come back into it, and then you forget about it, and then you come back, and then you go back to sleep. But the beauty now is that we're becoming more conscious of this. So everything's flipping. Okay, before it was like most of the time we were disconnected, most of the time we were asleep, most of the time we lived very amnesiac, very forgetful experiences, very traumatic experiences. Little by little, we're starting to shift into, becoming a little bit more aware, becoming a little bit more open, coming back to the breath, coming back to the body. And so we're in that like teeter-totter seesaw where we go back and forth until things shift for us, and we become a little bit more present, and a little bit more present, and a little bit more present, more present than less than disconnected. But it's still a process, and it's still an ongoing journey. Ascension just becomes this new way of living until you hit a certain level within the physical body ascension process. That's what I feel. And then you just continue to expand, right? Because the fifth dimension is only the beginning. We move into the sixth, we move into the seventh, however, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. I mean, there's more, right? The fifth dimension is probably it's the most crucial one, but it's also the toughest at times, because it means a full dissolution of everything that you've known. That's part of the reason why it's takes time. It's not an overnight thing. Nothing is really. There's so much anchored in our thoughts, anchored in our emotions, anchored in our body, that made us think that this is what we needed. This is what I needed to hold on to. This is who I needed to be. This is how I needed to act. This is what I needed to accomplish in order to have this, be liked, feel accepted, feel supported, feel loved. All of that is changing. But there are many, many aspects within ourselves that are holding very tightly at a level that we don't even really know or understand. And so, yes, you're ascending. Yes, everything, absolutely everything in this world is ascending too. It's shifting, it's changing, it's becoming more visible. Right, more light is shining into more dark spots, dark places. And it will continue. We are moving into a phase of faster changes, deeper acceleration points. And I keep feeling into this being a 9 universal year. A lot of things loosening up. What? There's so much to this year. Okay, there's a lot of endings and there's a lot of new beginnings, because everything flips. Hence the polar effect, that yes, we're a 9 universal year, but we're also in the flip side of that. A lot of new things, a lot of newness that are going to continually come through. And when I feel deeper levels of this, some of us will tap into these perceptions, this old mind perceptions of when are things going to happen, how are things going to unfold, when are things going to hit. And it's so interesting to just kind of see the flow of things, seeing just how many people have been talking about this year and how big this year is. And yes, it is a really big year. However, everything is changing so much that I do feel a level of softness that we're starting to anchor a little bit more. This isn't to say that there aren't places in the world that are not going through collapses, because that's not true. There's so many places all around the world that are going through different levels of earth shaking, earth shattering, weather stuff, earth stuff, a lot of ground breaking, right? However, there is a softness that is coming through all of those changes. So feels like there's going to be more of a stretch within what we might have perceived what happened. And I'm talking about this, and I feel that, and I have to remind you guys too that every person does live in their own reality. Every person does live in their own world and does create their own world. So beautiful. Every person will start to feel and perceive things differently. There will be some similarities. There will be some crossover, convergence in everyone's experience. But I do feel this softness. And that also is coming through everything that we're feeling in the body. Remember what I mentioned the other day, that when you and as you continue to allow and honor everything that is shifting and changing within your physical body. Hi. Got some golden friends here. At deeper and deeper layers and levels, your physical reality does smooth out. And so bringing this new softness, bringing this newness within the reality that creates a softer experience for all of us is really, really huge. Again, this isn't to say that nothing's going to happen, because there's going to be a lot more changes. We're going to go through a lot of changes. But I do kind of see those changes being spaced out a little bit more. So this is still a big year. There's still, we're closing into we're getting closer to the halfway point, right? And there's always a lot more that happens as we continue to get closer to you know, the different portals and the different like marker points of, you know, when things end linearly. But I still feel this level of things being spaced out, right? A lot of personal things happening first. A lot of personal shifts, a lot of personal realizations, a lot of awakenings, for sure. Which is beautiful, because I feel like our linear mind still gets wrapped up in the harshness and the traumatic energy. And yet ascension doesn't have to be traumatic. However, the caveat to that is in order for things to no longer be traumatic out in our world, we have to continually feel and connect deeper with the trauma that resides inside of us, which is part of what's happening in the body. The body is continually like breaking and shifting, dissolving all of these trauma bonds, all of these heavy attachments, all of these deep, heavy duty energies, physical energies that are still within the physical body, so that our physical reality softens. So allowing yourself to move, go with the flow of the changes, feel and ask, where am I still resisting this? Where am I still hating this? Where am I still blocking myself? Where am I still fighting the very thing that will set me free? So that you can become more aware, and so that you can connect to deeper parts of your body that are still in that turmoil, in that fight or flight response. Okay. Will everyone ascend? Like fully ascend in the physical? I'm going to say this, for those souls that have already chosen to stay here in the next couple decades, 3 decades, there's definitely going to be a level of ascension that will be accomplished, right? I feel like really allowing ourselves, like really getting to a collective, getting to being more in the body, which is part of ascension, by the way. It's descension. But ascension and descension go hand in hand. The more you ascend, the more light that comes through, and the more you're able to be in the body. However, it's like everyone's going through the descension process right now because of what the physical body is going through. The physical body ascension, the descension part of it is actually more intense than the ascension process. Like the ascension, the raising, up leveling, because your body holds so much density. Your body it has to go through so much unraveling, so much deprogramming, so much pain in order to release the trauma bonds, the attachments, all of these different things. And so that's what most of us are actually going through. We're going through the ascension and descension simultaneously, which does bring a level of like a new level of intensity. But it's super supportive because we're able to shift and accelerate this whole process. So allowing more light, allowing yourself to shift with every change that's happening right now is super crucial for every single one of us, because collectively speaking, we need to be more embodied. We need to be more in our light and become more conscious of how much are we in the light, how much are we in the dark, how much are we in the ego. That will bring a huge collective shift, which we're in the midst of that. But we're still kind of in the early stages of it. So these past 9 years have been they've been huge, they've been super important. A lot of us have a lot of people. Hi, we've got another cardinal. So beautiful. Here's what I feel. These last 9 years, we've hit a new level of conscious ascension. So the people that have gone through certain levels of spiritual awakening or just spiritual awakening, there's a bigger collective that has reached a level of consciously ascending, consciously knowing about ascension, which is huge, because when you wake up, when we go through spiritual awakening, like, everyone's journey is different. And I didn't know this. I thought everyone kind of went through what I went through. For me, it was very fast. So I went through my spiritual awakening, opening up to energy, opening up to angels, opening up to chakras, right? But within a year, I woke up to, I call it my galactic awakening. I woke up to ascension. I woke up to the fifth dimension. I woke up to, ascension symptoms. I woke up to going through physical body stuff. And I thought everybody went through that. And lo and behold, I realized that this isn't quite as this isn't what everyone experiences. Like, the way that I went through it obviously is unique, and everyone will have their unique does have their unique experience. But I started to realize that even within my circle of spiritual awakened friends, nobody really knew about ascension. Nobody really had heard of it or was too deep into it. From up until, I'm going to say 2019, 2020, there is so many people within the spiritual awakened community that is now fully more conscious in the ascension process. And that's a big thing. Okay. Obviously, in my reality, I've seen so many people that are also going through physical body ascension, but they're not fully aware. They're not spiritually awakened yet. Or they haven't gone through like that. Through first stages of spiritual awakening. However, it's kind of backwards now, where more people are going to go through their spiritual awakening because the body is going through physical body ascension. So, and it'll wake them up even faster to this process and to everything else. So it's huge. It's huge. We're definitely crossing a huge paramount threshold within our experience. Right, these 9 years, and this year it's going to explode even more. More people are going to start to consciously go through ascension. So what's going to continue? Obviously, this will continue to grow. More people in the next phase, the next cycle, we're going to go through mass awakenings, more collectives awakening, and also they're going to jump on the ascension bandwagon of like knowing and consciously knowing more of what's happening physically in the body. And they're going to feel more things in the body too, which will again accelerate things. These next cycle, these next 9 years are going to be even bigger. The shifts, the changes within the societal norms, the changes within the programming, especially because so many the souls that are coming in right now are like 100 times more open, 100 times more awake. They're 100 times more aware, awake, energetically connected, soul connected, source connected. And so imagine just how much of a huge quantum jump that will lead us into. It's interesting, as I heard myself say 100 times much more open, that's a whole century. A generation that takes that is that much more awake and much more aware within such a short period of time is huge. So it's exciting. This closure, new beginning, that will continue to transpire throughout this year is huge, and will continue to push a lot of things forward so that collectively we can reach a new level of, like a deeper level of physical body ascension within not just only the awakened community, but the people that are just opening up and just waking up. So one of the biggest things that I've shared before is that being open is huge. Being more open to what's happening, your mind being more open is actually way more important than getting all frustrated and caught up about where the world is and why aren't people waking up and why are people, going through what I'm going through. Opening up, having a mind, heart, body opened is the beginning of everything. The more that we accept that this is the most important thing, the more you're going to start to see how open people are. And the faster things occur, the faster things will shift within our collective experience. let the collective shift the way that it needs to shift. Let the world change in the way that it needs to change. Continue to be and focus continue to focus on your world. Continue to focus in your body. Continue to focus on everything that's happening within you and within your body, so that you can start to have deeper connections, have deeper communications, deeper connection, deeper communication with who you are becoming in the body. You are source, you are soul. But when we talk about becoming, this is about being it in the body. Because everything changes, everything about you changes. There's definitely a level of uncertainty with that. There's a level of unknown, doubt, all of these different things that happen. And yet, this is why we're here. This is why we came here. And it is a constant remembering, because it is easy to forget. It is easy to get caught up in what's happening. It is easy to get caught up in the drama and trauma, because that's all we've known and that's all we've done for a really long time. But allow yourself the opportunity to take those pauses. Pause everything. Go to the bathroom, go to your room, go outside, or just close your eyes wherever you are and feel your light coming through your breath. See this right now. See your light getting brighter. See your hands getting filled up with this light. See, feel, intend your chest, your back, your spine to get filled up more and more and more with this. Super, 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 super important to do this more consciously. And there we go. This beautiful wind, the breeze is picking up. The birds are just beautifully singing. And as you continue to anchor more and more into that, you're already in your ascended state. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for opening up and receiving this. I do have one more clearing session this week. I'll be having it tomorrow and Friday. If you'd like to join us, if you'd like to partake in this sacred space where we come together, we feel, we allow more light to dissolve, to bring us back into that softness and bring us back into the body. You're more than welcome to. I do have the link below, and I will be doing this this coming week as well. So I'll be putting more information as well in the description or comments. First, comments. Just takes a while for me to get into, have access to the video editing option. So check the comments. Feel into this. If you would like to receive more one-on-one support, a deeper clearing, deeper support for your body, for your ascension, that is what I do. I bring through more awareness. I read into your body. I read into your energies. I read into your subconscious to see what's going on, and really just allow the flow of light to do the bigger end of the work. And so if you'd like to receive more one-on-one support, that's also available. I also have the link below. And with that, sending you some more of this magical energy your way. And until next time.